I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which in Hebrew are the wonderful names of the Creator, our Heavenly Father, I Am, which this world has named God, and His beloved anointed Son, which this world has named Jesus. I give honor, respect, and thanks to all the true, faithful, and sincere apostles, elders, prophets, and torchbearers of the nation of Israel, who have willingly endured and risked much to bring forth the truth. Thank you, brothers. In this chapter, we are continuing the conversation of instruction. Instruction from the one true living Most High Power to His sons and daughters of the nation of Israel, the mighty nation of Israel being the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latins, Hispanics, and the so-called Native Americans. We are the children of the light and the children of the one true living Most High Power. Instruction. The first scripture we're going to in this chapter is the second book of the prophet Samuel, chapter 22, verse 47. This is our forefather, the prophet and King David, singing a song unto our Father in heaven for the victory over the enemies that our Father has given unto him. Yahweh liveth, and that is the truth. He is the one true living Most High Power. Yahweh liveth, and blessed be my rock, and exalted be the Most High Power of the rock of my salvation. 48. It is the Most High Power that avengeth me, and that bringeth down the people under me. 49. And that bringeth me forth from mine enemies. Thou also hast lifted me up on high above them that rose up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. This is what our Father does. Today, He's doing it through Yahweh Shai. This is the mercy of our Father, the King of all, and our Savior through Yahweh Shai. 50. Therefore I will give thanks unto thee, O Yahweh, among the heathen, and I will sing praises unto thy name. So those of the nation of Israel today who were turned unto the Father through the Son in truth and in sincerity, we understand that we are serving out the last of our last captivity wherever we are on the four corners of this earth. And that in honoring our Father through the Son, remember it's Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, our Father comes in the name of the Son. We honor our Father among the heathen, those that are not of the nation of Israel, those who the covenant wasn't given to, the ones that the prophecies and the promises weren't given to. These are the kings of the earth, those that currently have some dominion, some power, and some rule upon the earth today, although that is being wrapped up. 51. He is the tower of salvation for his king. So our Father in heaven has a king. So there are the kings of the earth, and then there's a king, an eternal king, an anointed king, a chosen king, an everlasting king, a king of kings, and a Lord of lords. He is the tower of salvation for his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, unto David, and to his seed forevermore. So people who want to talk about spiritually grafted in, this is right here. The prophet and King David himself speaking about the seed line. It's the bloodline and the seed line through Abraham, through Isaac, and through Jacob. Today, through King David, who has the last covenant with the Father. So it's through the house of King David. Bloodline, seed line, just the way it is. The book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 49. Therefore will I give thanks unto thee, O Yahweh, among the heathen, and sing praises unto thy name. And this is what the brothers do, the prophets, the modern day prophets, the brothers who are out on the street of camp, the brothers who are giving classes, and the brothers who are online speaking this word in truth and in sincerity. Even though we are still in the house of mourning, we can today look out the window of the house of mourning and see that the sun is starting to rise, that morning is on its way. And so while we are on one side of the prophecies and the promises of our Father in heaven, where we can start to see just a little bit of light coming, that dawn is coming, that day star is on the way, right? We're going to be coming out of this house of mourning soon. And those who are really in the faith, have been freed already spiritually. We still have to endure to the end, but really grasping what's on the way. On the flip side of the prophecies and promises, the sun's going down for the kings of the earth and for these other nations and for the heathen. And they are really all starting to make their way into the house of mourning. They are all starting to make their way into the house of mourning. 50. Great deliverance giveth he to his king. So there are the kings of the earth, and there's a king that our Father in heaven has chosen. Great deliverance giveth he to his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, to David, and to his seed forevermore. Bloodline, seed line. Prophecies, promises, covenants, agreements. So, the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 14. Sirach is also called Ecclesiasticus and can be found in the Apocrypha, which is the middle book of the King James 1611 Bible. This is as simple as it can be. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. There are 2 and 2. So there are the kings of the earth, which have been given a time to rule, and then there's the king that is chosen of the one true living most high power, who's already been put into his position. He sits currently at the right hand of the one true living most high power, waiting for his Father to say, go take your throne. Go take your throne on earth and be that king. 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another. The book of Sirach, chapter 42, verse 24. All things are double, one against another, and he hath made nothing imperfect. Everything serves its purpose, and everything has its season, and everything has its time. So, there are the kings of the earth whose power and authority are waning now. They're coming to an end. It's winding up for them. And there is the eternal king who's on his way. He's making his presence felt and known, but he's on his way. No one knows the time. No one knows the hour. We have to wait till all prophecy and promises are fulfilled. But, if you're looking at the timeline, we're making our way through. All things are double, one against another, and he hath made nothing imperfect, because you have to choose. You have to choose. So it's being made clear what's going on upon the earth, and you must choose. The first book of St. Esdras, chapter 8, verse 76. For ever since the time of our fathers, we, the Israelites, have been and are in great sin, even unto this day. 77. And for our sins and our fathers, we with our brethren and our kings, the kings of Israel, and our priests were given up unto the kings of the earth. So there's a distinction. There's a separation. There are the kings of the earth, the rulers of the other nations upon the earth. And then there's the one king, the one eternal king that our Father has chosen to come from the bloodline and seed line through the house of King David, which is Yahushua, our King of kings and Lord of lords and Savior, High Priest, Master Prophet, and brother of the bloodline, the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Chosen of the one true living Most High Power from the very beginning. And for our sins and our fathers, we with our brethren and our kings and our priests were given up unto the kings of the earth, to the sword, destruction, and to captivity, and for a prey with shame unto this day, given up unto the kings of the earth. There's a difference. The book of St. Matthew, chapter 2, verse 1. Now, when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, because they understood and were paying attention to the timeline at that time. At that time. 2, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? King of the world? Well, of the time frame, age, span of time of the Israelites, of the Jews, yes. King of any other nation, coming from the bloodline and the seed line of any other nation? No. Now, he's the king of the king. He is the king of kings, yes. But the wise men asked, where is he that is born King of the Jews, of the Israelites? Today, the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latins, Hispanics, the so-called Native Americans, where's he at? Saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him, because he is worthy to be praised. Worthy to be praised. And then when he grew up, the book of St. Matthew, chapter 27, verse 11, and Yahushua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, art thou the King of the Jews? And Yahushua said unto him, thou sayest. He has tremendous power as the King of the Jews, King of the Israelites. He's come unto us already. He is now making his way back to us. All must choose. But to sort of help you along with your decisions, as the Spirit brought out. The book of St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 30, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So he is announcing himself by the use of these clouds, by the judgment that a lot of these clouds announce, and then also in the whirlwinds, right? The tornadoes, the hurricanes, the monsoons, all these things that are occurring upon the earth, which are amplifying. They're getting stronger and stronger, louder and louder, and then also the frequency. Things are coming faster and faster and faster. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. So his power is evident with these clouds. With these clouds. Coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Ditwa, Senyar, and Koto, the names of three forces of nature affecting millions. Tropical cyclones and heavy monsoon rain have devastated Southeast Asia, causing deadly floods and landslides. More than 600 people have been killed and hundreds missing across several countries. Right now, Cyclone Ditwa has moved closer to India. Its force is being felt in the south of the country with heavy rainfall for the next 24 hours. But before it arrived, Ditwa tore through Sri Lanka, a direct hit, and exceptional rainfall that caused flash floods and landslides that have so far claimed the lives of 153 people and 200 more remain missing. A state of emergency has been declared as close to 500,000 people have been affected and a third of the country without electricity or running water. Relief and rescue operations have been hampered as infrastructure and communication lines have been damaged. The government has issued an appeal for international aid. A rare tropical cyclone named Senya proved even more catastrophic for Indonesia and in particular North and West Sumatra. Disaster agencies say over 300 people have died with as many missing. From the skies you can see a landscape of complete devastation. In North Sumatra, rivers bust their banks and ravage mountainside villages, sweeping everything in its way. While on the ground, you can see the desperate searches to try and find those trapped beneath the mud. The devastation caused to roads, infrastructure and communications has cut off many parts of the island, hampering rescue operations. About 80,000 displaced have been put up in temporary government shelters. The situation in Sumatra was made even more dire on Thursday when a magnitude 6.3 earthquake struck near the Aceh province. Senyar also caused mass flooding in Thailand, where at least 160 people died. 3.8 million people and 1 million households have been affected by the worst floods in a decade. Malaysia also suffered torrential rain and reported several deaths. Then third of the cyclone's severe tropical storm Koto. The central Philippines felt its force before it moved into the South China Sea. Koto is now barreling towards Vietnam, but landfall looks unlikely. So what makes the situation unique? It's not unusual for cyclones to appear in Southeast Asia, but these events are different, as all three cyclones have developed from weather patterns that wouldn't usually cause such extreme conditions. None of these storms were particularly intense in terms of wind speed, which normally defines a storm's strength. But the combination of rain, previous saturation, and increasing temperature, a feature of global warming, can bring on even heavier rainfall, giving us this rare weather phenomena that has devastated Southeast Asia.
When you truly comprehend who is on the way, you understand power, and that the kings of the earth, although they have some power today and some authority today and some rule today, given by the one true living Most High power, compared to our big brother, they can't come close to his power, to his sheer size, presence, and force. They can't come close to his majesty. The book of the prophet Amos, chapter 3, verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? So it's 2 and 2, good against evil. So good can't walk with evil, and evil cannot walk with good. There has to be agreement. So you must understand who you serve, the power that's present with them, and decide which power is going to be victorious. Can two walk together except they be agreed? This also means that you accept the agreements, the words that are spoken. You accept the agreements. The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7. So of thy, Yahweh the Most High Power, the creator of heaven and earth, the creator of all things, the creator and destroyer. So of thy people, the Israelites, was accepted, both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies. You can't walk side by side with the one true living Most High Power through his Son if you do not agree with what he has spoken. And he has spoken destruction. He just has. If you really still struggle with that, pray for wisdom. 8, for wherewith thou didst punish our adversaries, by the same thou didst glorify us, whom thou hast called. Because this is what happens at this time. When we witness the righteous judgment of the enemies of the one true living Most High Power, the enemies of his Son, Yahushai, and the enemies of his children, the nation of Israel, those who are turned unto the Father through the Son in truth and in sincerity. Well, he has promised judgment upon the wicked and the evil and the abominable and the rebellious, and upon the heathen for their part in the abuse of the nation of Israel. And as they go into the house of mourning, we start to come out of the house of mourning, identifying who the sons and daughters of the one true living Most High Power actually are, and who the rising sun is for, who the day star is for, who the light is for, who the promises are for, whose salvation is for, and who the eternal kingdom is for. And there are no ways around the words, the prophecies, and the promises of the one true living Most High Power. The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 15. But it is not possible to escape thine hand. You cannot escape the hand of the one true living Most High Power. That hand being Yahushai. That hand being Yahushai. The book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Most High Power. Like our forefather, the prophet and King David said, he liveth. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Most High Power. So for the nation of Israel, we fell into the left hand of the one true living Most High Power. The left hand of the wicked, the devil, which means deceivers, filled with the spirit of Satan, which is the spirit of the adversary and the accuser. Because we sinned against our Father, we fell into the left hand. For many today upon the earth, the left hand is still being used, but the right hand, oh, that's starting to squeeze now. Oh, he's wrapping his hand around his sword now. Oh, that right hand is bringing righteous indignation, wrath, and judgment. Can't escape. Can't escape. Cannot escape. So, you know, if you're an Israelite, time to get right. Fire's coming. It really, really is. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Most High Power. As the Spirit brought out. So, the book of St. Matthew, chapter 26, verse 63. But Yahushua held his peace, and the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living Most High Power, that thou tell us whether thou be the anointed, the Son of the Most High Power. 64. Yahushua saith unto him, Thou hast said, nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power of majesty, sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. That's what he told them. Hereafter ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven.
This is the kind of rain Southeast Asia only sees once in a generation, and two climate forces have collided to make it even worse. In just the past few weeks, southern Thailand has seen entire towns go underwater. Central Vietnam was hit with 1.7 meters of rain in a single day. And the Philippines? Slammed by back-to-back super typhoons that have forced more than 1.5 million people to flee. So, what's going on? It comes down to two major climate systems aligning at the same time, something that rarely happens. First, La Niña. It cools the Central Pacific and pushes heat west, strengthening monsoon rains across Southeast Asia. Second, a negative Indian Ocean dipole. That's when warmer than usual waters near Indonesia pull in moisture like a giant magnet. The result of this overlap, supercharged rainfall, turning an already bad season into a full-blown disaster. But this isn't just a freak event. Because the oceans are warming, the atmosphere is too. And since warmer air holds more moisture, it's like adding a bigger sponge above us. That means storms drop more water when they hit. Climate scientists say Asia is heating up twice as fast as the global average. So what used to be once-in-a-century floods are now showing up every few years. With La Niña expected to stick around into 2026, this risk isn't going away. The worrying part, the ground's already saturated, so even normal rain can now trigger landslides or fresh floods.
So the kings over in those lands, well, they're meeting the King of Kings, and they cannot stand against him. And all their wealth, well, that's disappearing now. The amount of money it's going to take to relocate many of their countrymen, the money that it's going to take to try and repair these places, it's going to devastate many, many of the kings of the earth, the kings that are over there in those lands. But this is what happens at the approach of the Anointed One, the chosen King of the one true living Most High Power. The book of Sirach, chapter 7, verse 36. Whatsoever thou takest in hand, remember the end, and thou shalt never do amiss. Whatsoever thou takest in hand, remember the end, and thou shalt never do amiss. So you can take full ownership of your house, your car, your furniture, your jewelry, your business. But as we continue to watch the amplification process, we're watching more and more people watching things just being washed away, floating away, just literally floating away. And that is the end of the thing. And so for Israelites, we're supposed to be storing up our treasures in heaven because it can't be touched there. The hands of the one truly most high power are upon the earth today. Nothing is safe. Nothing. The only way out is up. Matter of fact, the second book of St. Peter, chapter 3, verse 10. But the day of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. That's prophecy. You want to put your hand on that and hold on tightly to that? And also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. This is instruction. This is instruction. Whatsoever thou takest in hand, remember the end, and thou shalt never do amiss. Wait for the anointed, chosen King. Wait for the eternal kingdom of the mighty nation of Israel. The book of Sirach, chapter 16, verse 22. Who can declare the works of his justice, or who can endure them? Well, if you understand what's coming, and you pray for wisdom, and you're blessed with wisdom, and you fear the one true living most high power, and you can take instruction, most high willing, you will be able to endure. For his covenant is afar off, and the trial of all things is in the end. We're here now. Remember, it's a season. There's going to be a day, the day, when Yahushua returns with the heavenly host. There's going to be a day, but we're in a season now. Oh, we're in a season. The book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 24. Think upon the wrath that shall be. That's prophecy. Think upon the wrath that shall be at the end, and the time of vengeance that must occur. You cannot walk with the one true living most high power through his son if you deny that. If you want it to be anything other than what has been spoken, you cannot walk with the one true living most high power. And then who shall protect you? And the time of vengeance, we went through it. Now it's time for righteous judgment for the other nations and for the heathen. Remember, not every one of the other nations is an evil, wicked person, but everyone must pay their bill. What they owe, that's up to the Father. All we have to do is, as Israelites, is worry about finishing paying off our bills, our spiritual bills, and coming out of the house of mourning. Think upon the wrath that shall be at the end, and the time of vengeance when he shall turn away his face. So there's going to be a time where if you're not, as an Israelite, if you're not marked, if you're not written in the book of life, you are completely on your own. The kings of the earth will not be able to deliver themselves. How are they going to deliver you? There is only one who can deliver, and it is the anointed and chosen of the one true living most high power, who has a covenant with the one true living most high power, who cannot lie. He has said, that he's coming to visit. And he is visiting the earth today through Yahushai. Make no mistake about that. As the Spirit brought out, behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens, the deep and the earth, and all that therein is, shall be moved when he shall visit. 19, the mountains also and foundations of the earth be shaken with trembling when the Lord looketh upon them. So our Father is looking down upon things through Yahushai. So the Father says he's going to visit, he's doing that through Yahushai. And we look for tokens and signs that have been left behind in this living water, this living word. So, as the Spirit brought out.
A week of deadly flash floods and cloudbursts in India and Pakistan have killed hundreds of people. But the weather has been most lethal in the mountainous region of the two countries. In Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, more than 300 people have been killed and hundreds injured due to rains and mudslides.
Que pierre se détache de la carrière à gauche de l'image. Puis tout à coup, c'est la paroi entière qui s'écroule. Au sol, des centaines de personnes fuient l'éboulement et se ruent sur un pont artisanal construit pour accéder au site. S'ensuivent panique et bousculade, 32 personnes trouvent la mort.
Yes, we are watching judgment of the one true living most high power through his son Yahushai, our King of Kings and our Lord of Lords. We are witnessing the presence of the one true living most high power through his son, investigating the earth today. Judgments are occurring upon the earth today. Great wealth is being destroyed every time you see these events. Great wealth is being destroyed. Great power is being displayed so that the kings of the earth understand, in comparison to the Son of the one true living most high power, the heir of the eternal kingdom of the mighty nation of Israel. Some very big shoes to fill. Very big shoes to fill. He is a true elder. The kings of the earth cannot compare or compete with him. The book of Psalms, chapter 47, verse 6, sing praises to the Most High Power. Sing praises unto our King. Sing praises, the King that has chosen the nation of Israel, the one who delivers the nation of Israel, the one who blesses the nation of Israel, and the one who has also punished righteously the nation of Israel. Seven, for the Most High Power is the King of all the earth. Sing ye praises with understanding. Understand who we serve. Understand who has chosen us. Understand who we are unto the Father. Understand who we become. understand who we have to be. The book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 6, "And now shall mine head be lifted up above mine enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto Yahweh." Our head, as the Israelites, is being lifted up today. It's being lifted up today. Who the King of all has chosen is being made manifest. The Son of the one true living most high power, the nation and tribe that he comes from, is being remembered upon this earth today. Who the eternal kingdom belongs unto, being made manifest today. Who are the true judges of the earth? That's being made manifest today. "And now shall mine head be lifted up above mine enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto Yahweh." The second book of the prophet Esdras, chapter 15, verse 46. Now here's another reason to sing praises unto the one true living most high power. His words are coming to life today, and they are amplifying. They are getting louder and louder and clearer and clearer. All praise to the one true living most high power. Words given unto his sons and daughters, the Israelites. "And thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon," mystery, Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, the whore that sits on many waters, "and art the glory of her person." You took after mystery, Babylon the Great. You took after the whore that sits on many waters. You took after their customs, their culture, their traditions, their values, their doctrines, the lusts. 47, woe. Woe means destruction. Woe means destruction. "Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee." So, a choosing of the ways of the wicked and the abominable and of the deceivers. Choosing to follow after wickedness and unrighteousness. Also choosing to follow in the plan to cut the children of the one true living most high power off from remembrance. Cutting them off from remembrance. "48, thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith the most high power." 49, "I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death." And we're watching that. And the Father's doing that through Yahushai. He's coming with those clouds, with power, with real power. You're not dead. You don't have a home. You don't have a job. How are you going to care for yourself? The kings of these places, they don't have the money. They don't. Prophecy has begun. Judgment has begun. Famine has begun. "50, and the glory of thy power shall be dried up as a flower. The heat shall arise that is sent over thee. So that heat is the heat of our Father's wrath and his anger, the fire of his indignation towards the treatment of his sons and daughters. Everyone has a choice. Inside of the words of the one true living Most High Power, everyone has a choice. But when it comes to how it ends, there is no choice. The second book of the prophet Esdras, chapter 16, verse 1. Woe, woe means destruction unto thee, Babylon, mystery, Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, the whore that sits on many waters, and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. 2. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair, bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. If you cannot, as an Israelite, walk hand in hand with the Father through the Son in these words and accept the salvation of the righteous and the destruction of the wicked, woe be unto you as well, because you won't be walking with the one true living Most High Power and his Son. 3. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? 4. A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Who can do it? None of the kings of the earth can do it. None of them. Because they can't stand up against Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. It cannot be done. It cannot be done. Our Father, who is a man of war, has brought forth a strategy that no one saw coming. No one saw coming. But it was written. It was written. The book of St. Mark, chapter 3, verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
The president has gone too far. Everybody needs to wake up. The occupant of the Oval Office is ignorant to the Constitution and has no regard for the rule of law. Trying to silence me, in proposing to court-martial me, in threatening to kill me for fighting back when our democracy demands that we must fight back. President Trump has crossed the line. And this time, it's not going to work. I will not be intimidated by this president. I am not going to be silenced by this president or the people around him, because I've given too much in service to this country to back down to this guy.
Many did not see this day coming, because many are blind. But those who are turned unto the Father through the Son in truth and in sincerity, it's written out. It's written out. The time of the kings of the earth is coming to an end. The book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 57. And I, Yahweh the Most High Power, will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her captains and her rulers, and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the King, whose name is Yahweh of hosts.
We have some major news right now. There is mass outrage after the United States of America and the Trump administration released a national security strategy quietly redefining the way America stands with our allies and adversaries overseas, essentially separating America from democracies, moving America closer to autocracies in a way that we haven't seen in the post-World War II world order. National security strategy does not label Russia as an adversary, ensures that Trump's war in the Caribbean or the illegal strikes in the Caribbean will ramp up. The strategy criticizes Europe for failing to adopt Western civilization and Western values. It actively calls for alliances with foreign governments and political systems that simply do not agree with America's, throws Ukraine under the bus, abandons key strategic goals and basic values, and a lot of people say make America weaker, not safer, and really abandons Europe alone on the world stage. This is major.
So here's another excellent example. Letting go of relationship with the Europeans. Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, has set up a system where they would provide protection for the Europeans. This is not going to go well. Now, how do we know this? The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16, and the 10 horns. So there are countries in Europe that are part of NATO and the EU. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, remember it's beast system of governance. So it's a system that works together. And then there were 10 horns, 10 countries, nations that were sort of raised up, exalted, which thou sawest upon the beast. These shall hate the whore. Mystery, Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America, the whore that sits on many waters, with her military bases and her embassies, so forth, so on. Also her businesses, right? She sits on many waters. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So that's how that is going to go. That's going to be the response to that. All right here. Pay attention to the timeline. Returning to the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 51, now verse 49. And here's why. As Babylon hath caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. Because everyone is in Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America. The great melting pot, right? Everyone's here. Every nation is represented. E pluribus unum, right? Everyone's represented. As Babylon hath caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. Thus saith the Most High, as it is written. Israelite, the only way out is up. Verse 58, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. You have to be close to the gates to burn them. You have to be really close to the gates to burn them.
Spot the misspelling and then tell me what historically two S's next to each other means.
see this? Yeah, they're trying to say this is a typo. This is not a typo. Okay, and let me tell you why. Not only this piece of paper was typed out, printed, and then folded, put in front of Pete Hegseth, and then put the cameras there in front of national news. You're telling me, out of all of those processes, out of all of those different scenarios, not a single person called it out to be like, hey, we should probably not have the SS in there? This is not a typo. This is them starting to get comfortable. Let's call it as it is.
There are those of the other nations who do understand, and they can't wait for the return of Yahushua. There are many who want righteous judgment upon this earth, and they can't wait. Because in Yahushua's kingdom, there will be righteousness, which is more than is present today. The book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. As it is written, thus saith the Most High. Choose. You can be with the king. As an Israelite, you can be with the king that is anointed and chosen of the one true living Most High power, the eternal king, or you can be with the kings of the earth. Who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us, the Israelites. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. A lot of things went on in Mystery Babylon the Great. A lot of things still go on in Mystery Babylon the Great. A lot of things are still going on in Mystery Babylon the Great. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. The book of the prophet Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 13. So this is to Esau, Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir, the so-called white nation. Inside of them is that family, Amalek, who the father's at war with and has been at war with since we left Egypt and will be at war with until they are no more. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people, the Israelites, in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. You shouldn't have taken their things. You shouldn't have taken our things. You shouldn't have taken our things. You should not have stolen from us. So, our Father, which art in heaven, is a righteous judge.
Last Thursday, with no press release, J.P. Morgan Chase moved its entire gold trading desk that handles billions of dollars every day from New York to Singapore. This is not an expansion. This is an escape. 50-plus traders and their families were told to be in Singapore by the end of last week. The linked email reads, relocate all COMEX-eligible gold operators to Asia Pacific by end of week. Gold is now trading at $4,256 an ounce, up $54 just today. J.P. Morgan has already delivered $4 billion in physical bullion against New York futures contracts this month alone, the biggest physical delivery since 2008. Singapore has no gold import tariffs, is friendly with BRICS nations and J.P. Morgan's private bank. There is exploding within ultra-high net worth clients moving money out of the United States. Jamie Dimon visited the Shanghai Gold Exchange in March and has been building deep ties with China's gold market ever since.
The bankers always know first. Is JP Morgan moving its precious metals trading desk to Singapore the ultimate warning shot for Mystery Babylon the Great, the so-called United States of America? Last Thursday, JP Morgan, the biggest gold desk on the planet, abruptly moved their entire trading desk to Singapore, revealed through a leaked internal email. They told 50-plus employees to pack their families' belongings, etc., and head overseas by end of week. This is not the type of thing that happens every day. This is an alarm bell ringing. Theft is happening unto Mystery Babylon the Great. Theft on a huge scale is happening unto Mystery Babylon the Great. So there are these certificates out there where the certificate says that you own gold. So, you give somebody a good deal of money and they give you this certificate. The certificate says that you own gold. But guess what? You don't own gold unless it's in your hands, unless it's in your possession. So there are a lot of people who spend a lot of money and swear they have some gold because they have a certificate, but they have nothing but a piece of paper. They have nothing but a piece of paper. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. How hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Your time it's over. It's over. As your forefathers and foremothers have done, and as many of you have done, it is now coming back to you. Righteous judgment is now being visited upon Mystery Babylon the Great. The thing that many cherish the most, really cherish the most in Mystery Babylon the Great, that is being strangled today. That privilege, that is being strangled today. You were told that you were in the land of the free.
3 companies you've probably never heard of own everything you buy, everything you use, and everything you depend on to survive. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Combined, they manage $20 trillion in assets. That's larger than the GDP of China, larger than the entire U.S. federal budget for 13 years. $20 trillion controlled by 3 companies.
And here's what that $20 trillion buys them. They are the largest shareholders in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Tesla, Exxon,
Chevron, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Walmart,
Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, Disney, Comcast,
JP Morgan, Bank of America, and 90% of all companies in the S&P 500. Read that again, 90%. They don't just own shares in these companies. They are the top 3 shareholders in almost every major corporation in America, which means they control everything: the food you eat, the technology you use, the medicine you take, the energy you consume, the banks you borrow from, the media you watch.
These 3 firms are consistently the top 3 institutional owners in nearly every major American company. That means the breakfast cereal in your pantry, the operating system running your phone, the insulin your neighbor depends on, the gasoline in your tank, all of it traces back to the same 3 names at the top of the shareholder list. But the structure gets stranger. These companies own each other. BlackRock's biggest shareholder, Vanguard's largest holdings, BlackRock shares. State Street's dominant investors, Vanguard and BlackRock. It's a triangle where each corner props up the other 2.
They own each other in a closed loop that makes Rockefeller's Standard Oil Trust look primitive. This is monopoly perfected. Not one company controlling 90% of one industry like Standard Oil controlled oil. 3 companies controlling 90% of all industries simultaneously. And they own competing companies. They own Coke and Pepsi, Boeing and Airbus, Ford and GM, Pfizer and Moderna. There is no competition. There's the illusion of competition. But the same 3 shareholders control both sides. And you cannot escape them. Everything you buy, they profit from. Every transaction you make, they own a piece of. Every stock you invest in, you're making them richer. Every choice you think you're making, you're choosing between options they control. I'm going to show you exactly how much these 3 companies control who actually owns them, how they use cross-ownership to form an unbreakable monopoly, why regulators do nothing, and most importantly, why you cannot escape the system they've built. Because this isn't theory, this isn't speculation. This is documented in SEC filings, shareholder reports, and public records. The largest wealth concentration in human history is happening right now, and it's invisible to almost everyone.
If law enforcement ever has your phone, here's what happens behind the scenes, whether it's federal, state, or tribal. And it's way more detailed than you think. Let me explain what agencies do with your phone and your data once they have it. Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm a Cherokee attorney in Oklahoma, and I used to be a federal prosecutor. Now I'm a criminal defense attorney. When the feds or any law enforcement agency takes your phone, they're not just taking the physical device. They're getting access to your entire digital life. And here's what actually happens. They create a digital mirror of your phone. They don't just scroll through your messages manually. They plug your phone into forensic software that will download everything. So your messages, your photos, deleted files, apps, notes, location history, searches, everything you thought was gone. Deleted does not mean deleted. If it exists on your device or in your backup, then forensic software can usually find it. They compare it to your statement, so your texts, your location, your timestamps, everything gets lined up to what you've said into interviews. This is where inconsistencies become evidence. They check for links to other people. Your phone data shows networks, call patterns, relationship contacts, and group chats. Cloud data is next, so iCloud, Google, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. They can usually get this with a subpoena or a search warrant. You may get your phone back, but the data stays with them. Even if they give you your phone months later, they'll keep that mirror image for evidence. They will see things that you didn't expect them to look for. So medical info, relationship issues, old messages, financial data, screenshots, what you were doing at 2 a.m. 3 months ago. Your phone tells a story that you didn't know you were telling.
Your private emails are being scanned right now by AI. See, most Gmail users have no clue what happened last month, but Gmail flipped the switch that lets Google's Gemini AI scan and analyze every email and your attachments, financial docs, private messages, all of it. And the wild part is that you didn't say yes, it was just turned on automatically. So this means that Gemini can now use your data to train AI models, build ad profiles, and learn from your personal info, even your private stuff.
Google began to secretly scan your private Gmail messages as well as your attachments so they can train their AI.
Yep, their AI assistant is now inside your inbox. It reads your messages, summarizes them, and decides what you see. And they're not just organizing your inbox, they're learning from it. And yes, they admit it. Gemini processes your emails to train itself. AI isn't just helping, it's harvesting. You ever wonder why Google gives us Gmail for free?
So what's happened? Have you checked your Gmail settings recently? Because this week, millions of users discovered that Google has automatically opted them into a feature that may allow their emails and attachments to train their AI systems. So yes, your private messages, your work emails, even attachments, things that you attach to emails could be included in this.
Where is that freedom today? There's a very small number who are running a very large number. So that was for those who perhaps didn't know that information. And for those who did, to just remind you of where we are. Many are making their way into the house of mourning. And as they make their way in, our time as the Israelites is coming to an end. Which side do you want to be on? The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, of this time frame, age, span of time, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So even the kings of the earth have to play along with these people. They have to play along with these people. So how are they going to be able to protect you? There's only one who can protect you, Israelite. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Your food, your medicine, your money, your transportation, your job, your credit, everything. Against spiritual wickedness in high places. Even with all of this, the words of the one true living most high power must and will stand. So they're working towards they're going for it right now, full, absolute, complete world domination, dominion of every soul upon this earth. They're going for it now. They feel like your digital devices are an extension of your soul. So they're looking to have full access and entry unto your digital soul. The book of Psalms, chapter 2. Why do the heathen, the other nations, rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? You're going to overcome the prophecies and the promises of the one true living most high power. You're going to keep your reign and your control upon this earth past the time that our Father says that it shall be. To the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, 3, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. So they want to do their best to stop the prophecies of the one true living most high power, which is that Yahweh Shai, as the King of Kings, will rule upon this earth. Underneath him the 12, the 144,000, shall rule in righteousness upon this earth. Underneath that, the 1/3, the men, the women, the children, the true believers, the remnant. They will be in alignment with the Father through the Son and be loving subjects unto the righteous rule upon this earth of the Israelites. So they want to break the promised rulership of the nation of Israel, and they're bill paying. But they have to pay their bill. They have to pay their bill. All of them. The book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 25, who by the mouth of thy servant David has said, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine vain things? 26, the kings of the earth stood up, and the rulers were gathered together against Yahweh and against his anointed, Yahushai. And when you go against his body, which is the nation of Israel, you go against Yahushai and you go against the Father. And you have to be dealt with for that. And so, even to this day, when people ask why all this is going on upon the earth today, this righteous judgment, because even today, there is still abuse of the sons and the daughters of the one true living Most High power. There is violence against the body of the anointed Yahushai.
And y'all, it just gets crazier and crazier. While everyone is watching Venezuela, the domestic front in the United States has literally changed overnight. So we've got to talk about what's happened inside of the United States this past week, because it is not disconnected. First things first, for my melanated family, this regime just ended TPS, or temporary protective status, for over 353,000 Haitian immigrants, with mass deportation scheduled to start in February. In fact, February 3rd of 2026. This means not only are we going to be seeing mass raids on brown people in the United States, but also darker hued or African American people as well will start to be targeted indiscriminately. This is going to be one of the largest expulsions of Black immigrants in modern U.S. history.
Donald Trump says that any country that sells or manufactures drugs is subject to attack from the United States.
But not the drugs that come in the little plastic bottles with the fancy corporate logos on them, right? They're still cool. You know, your rebranded methamphetamines, your rebranded heroin, your multi-trillion-dollar industry that is quite objectively the leading catalyst for addiction, at least in the Western world. Those are still the good guy drugs, right? Just so we're clear, right? So that we understand that when we say drugs, what we mean is the poor brown people drugs, not the rich white people drugs. And particularly, it seems, the drugs from the poor brown people country that also happens completely by coincidence to have lots and lots of oil in it, which is besides the point entirely. But also, you know, what are these poor brown people even doing with all this rich white people oil in their country in the first place? Am I right? I mean, you should probably just, you know, obviously that's not what it's about. It's about how important it is to solve this problem. You know, the problem with all the the problem with all the drugs. Those are bad.
The wicked rulers and those with authority for a little bit longer still want to put their hands on the jewels of the one true living Most High power. His children want to exercise their last bit of authority as angry children. They want to exercise their last bit of authority. But there's no escaping the hands of the one true living Most High power. The book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 16, all the works of Yahweh are exceeding good and whatsoever he commandeth shall be accomplished in due season. 17, and none may say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For at time convenient they shall all be sought out. At his commandment the waters stood as an heap, and at the words of his mouth the receptacles of waters. So when our Father said it's time for the salvation of the nation of Israel, it occurred. And it will occur again. It will, and none can stop it. The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 21, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. So remember, it's the man, the beast, and the dragon. The man, Esau, Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir; the beast, their beast system of governance; and the dragon, how they carry themselves upon the earth. And they have given authority unto other nations upon the earth, and those kings. And as long as they dealt well with the beast let them do their things. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, the man, the beast, the dragon, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 1, and there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. All chasing after, YOLO, you only live once, do as thou wilt, the confusion of the sexes, laying with animals, all of it, everything that is adverse. This is why it's the spirit of Satan. It's the adversary, adverse to the words of life of the one true living most high power. Adverse to it. The book of Sirach, chapter 7, verse 17. This is instruction. Humble thyself greatly, not a little bit. Humble thyself greatly, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. That's what's coming for a lot of souls and vessels upon this earth. For a lot of souls and a lot of vessels upon this earth. Humble thyselves greatly, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. The book of St. Judith, chapter 16, verse 17. Woe, woe means destruction, to the nations that rise up against my kindred. Yahweh Almighty will take vengeance of them in the day of judgment, in putting fire and worms in their flesh, and they shall feel them and weep forever. And so, as mercy to the sons and daughters of the one true living most high power, because there's no more fence today. You got to come off the fence. You got to choose. What's coming upon this earth, you're seeing previews nowadays. You're seeing previews. The last several weeks, all we've been witnessing is...
Oh! Oh!
Oh, there's the cylinder! Oh my god! Bang! That's gas.
Holy sh**! Oh my god! Baby, I'm so scared! Back up! Back up! Baby, you need to back up! Shut up!
Holy things are dropping in the sky. Holy what happened?
I don't know.
Everyone just ran. Everyone just ran. That looked like...
over there. Look,
I know.
look over there.
Oh, that looked like a nuclear explosion. Holy oh my gosh. My heart sank. I thought it was going to come up to us.
Previews of prophecy. Previews of prophecy. And that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. Just like in the days of Noah. That's just how it's going to be. People just going along, minding their business, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. Fire. Our King is on the way. The book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 1, praise ye Yahweh, for it is good to sing praises unto our most high power, for it is pleasant, and praise is comely. It's good looking. Praise is good looking. It's a good look. It's a good look to give praise unto the one true living most high power. Praise ye Yahweh, for it is good to sing praises unto our most high power, for it is pleasant, and praise is comely. The book of Sirach, chapter 51, verse 11, I will praise thy name continually, and will sing praises with thanksgiving, and so my prayer was heard. We have to give our Father thanks for everything he has given us and everything he's going to give us. And we're giving him thanks for what he says shall occur. Of his people was accepted. Of his people was accepted. The kings of the earth cannot save you, Israelite. They can't stop the rain. They can't stop the landslides. They can't stop the earth from trembling and the hills from melting. They can't do it. They can't stop the word of the one true living most high power. I will praise thy name continually and will sing praises with thanksgiving, and so my prayer was heard. And that thanksgiving is for what comes at the end for the nation of Israel and for the earth itself. The last scripture we're going to in this chapter is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of Yahweh, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. That is Yahweh Shai, the King of Kings, perfected and a forever servant of the one true living most high power, firstborn of the one true living most high power, and proven his dedication to his kingdom and his nation, his people, and to righteousness. Remember the Canaanite woman. This is where we're headed. Yahweh Shai is the only one full enough to sit in that throne. No one else can sit in that throne. And so the kings of the earth have had some time. But the true king, he's on his way. Make no mistake about it. World War III and the nuclear destruction of America are coming. It will coincide exactly with the return of our King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Savior, High Priest, and Brother Yahushai. Thus saith Yahweh. Philippians 2, 9 through 11. Wherefore Yahweh also hath highly exalted him, and given him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Yahushai every knee shall bow, of things in heaven, and things in earth, and things under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Yahushai is Lord, to the glory of Yahweh the Father. As it is written, thus saith Yahweh, and nothing can stop it. This is a final warning, Israel. Shake off this world, remember who you are, and come home. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai.
As you probably know, the government is going to set up this program that was put in place by the Invest America Act that was passed on July 4th earlier this year. And every newborn will get $1,000 starting for kids born in 2025 and going through to 2028. And hopefully the government...
I'm going to let this go so you can watch this guy's face. Michael Dell, this is the definition of a slush fund, okay? So Dell Computers and Michael Dell just gave $6.25 billion slush fund to Trump under the guise of the government. A slush fund is literally think how much revenue is generated from the investment of $6.25 billion over 18 years, okay? So this is bull that these children are fucking getting anything. This is literally, you know what they'll get? They'll get penalized if they take the money out early. This is a slush fund, and look at his face. Dude, he can't even talk without laughing. He's laughing. Look at it. Look at...
to college and graduate to, buy a home and be successful.
He's just laughing at us. He cannot restrain
our economy.
The fact that he knows
so
this is
we're super excited about this, and I've spoken with other philanthropists, and I'm
he's laughing. He literally starts laughing when he's like, I spoke with other philanthropists. The world is filled with devils, or at least America.